Nancy went from this to this, but then it eventually went wrong. Train up a child in the way it should grow, and when it grow, it would not depart from it. It was just Nancy and her mother in the trenches. Her mother gave birth to her out of wedlock, and she did everything to raise her, to feed her after her father denied her. Her mother didn't shake. I'll raise her to be a very successful girl, she said to herself. But her definition of successful wasn't right at all. She didn't mean that she will send Nancy to school and give her the proper education to make her successful. It was the other way round. Her mother, Kelechi, was hell-bent on making Nancy the most beautiful. She cared about her face and stature so much. As a kid, when other mothers were looking for money for books and school uniforms from their children to go to school, Kelechi was busy buying and saving so much money to get classy clothes that she normally couldn't afford. She did that to make her daughter get used to luxury things. Her daughter Nancy was a retirement plan, as well as a revenge plan on all of those people who had mocked her, even to Nancy's father who had denied her. Kelechi did literally everything to make Nancy more prettier. And luckily for her, she didn't do too much because Nancy is a very beautiful girl, a bright, smart girl. Only if her mother didn't fail her, then she would have been great. Kelechi started buying Nancy makeup at the age of 10, teaching her everything she needs to know about fashion. She even saved and bought her a phone so she could be watching makeup tutorials online and how to dress classy. And as a smart girl, Nancy learned so fast, even with no one teaching her. In no time, she became a pro. Kelechi would smile and say, "Yes, girl, that's my daughter. Very soon, I'll reap the fruits of my labor." The little money she gained from her business was used to make Nancy a classy babe, my influencer, as she normally calls her daughter. Nancy grew. She became a very classy lady. Whenever people see her mother and they see her, they didn't believe that Kelechi bettered her. Because Nancy looked so cute for Kelechi to give birth to. And the way she dresses like a billionaire's child. Kelechi would smile while watching her daughter feeling fulfilled. One day, Kelechi and Nancy were in her mother's shop when a rich chief packed to buy something in their shop. And as he was buying things, Kelechi noticed that the man's eyes were glued to her daughter. He kept staring at her and she understood everything. The man was staring at Nancy lovingly. And instead of cautioning the man for staring at her daughter like that, Kelechi smirked. And she said, "Oh, it is time. Nancy, don't ripe." After the man paid for what he bought, Kelechi ran after him. And she said, Chief, I noticed you were staring at my daughter. Do you like her?" The chief smiled shyly and said, "Yes, she's very pretty. I like her." "Thank you, Chief," Kelechi said. "You can have her to yourself, you know. I would like to give her to you." "Oh, really?" the chief said. And Kelechi replied, "Yes. All you have to do is to, now, Chief, you have to pay me some money. You have to pay me hugely for it." That is not a problem," the chief said. "But how old is she?" "She's 20, Kelechi replied. The chief stared at her shocked. And Kelechi noticed. And she said, "Chief, she's old enough. Oh, don't worry about that. She's 20. She's legal." "Okay, no problem," the chief said. And he gave Kelechi a huge sum of money. Nancy was hearing everything her mother was saying. And she was so disappointed. And when her mother came in with 500k, she ignored the money. And she started yelling and crying. "Mom, I am so disappointed in you. Why would you sell me to that old man like that? I don't want such a life. Mom, I want to be a lawyer. Please, Mom." Eweleke, this girl has finished me. "Lawyer kwa? For where? How can you do this to me? After everything that I have done for you, this girl, you want to be ungrateful? After everything, all of the luxury dresses that I've got you ever since you were a kid, makeup, and those big chicken that you used to eat. Oh, you think they are free? I let you eat big turkey while I drank Gary just so you can repay me when you can. And now that the time is right, you want to do this to me. Oh, this is what you want to repay me with. Chimo, this girl has finished me. All of my dreams are gone. Oh, Kelechi screamed, crying so much. At this point, Nancy didn't know what to say or do. She felt pity for her mother. Everything her mother said is actually true. Her mother suffered a lot to give her the life that she deserves, a classy life, and she knew it. Sometimes, she saw her mother sleep hungry while she had fed her fried rice and chicken during the day. And of course, she didn't want to repay her mother back in a bad way. She hugged her crying mother and told her that she's sorry and she will do whatever she says. I will repay you with good, mother. I know you have suffered a lot for me and I won't repay you badly. Her mother smirked, knowing fully well that her plan has worked. She linked Nancy up with the chief. Nancy started okwaing him, a man old enough to be her father. She was getting so much money. The chief was taking care of her and her mother too. Both mother and daughter were now in money. Nancy would dress so classy, pick up a bag, and leave for Chief's hotel. And it wasn't just him. Her mother started linking her up with different men. She was doing the do with all of them. And in return, they got a luxury life. The chief even bought her and her mother a mansion, upgraded their shop, and Kelechi was so happy that her daughter is finally giving her the luxury life that she deserves. My plan has worked. Kelechi became so arrogant. All of the people that mocked her back then that she didn't send her daughter to school, she flaunted her riches to them. Your daughter wey go school still dey house, dey wait for job. My daughter wey no go school don buy me house, she don buy me car. Choose wisely, she said to their faces. Kelechi was so mean to her haters. They were now in money. Nancy also flaunted her riches online. She had a large following. People loved everything about her. From her figure eight to her luxury lifestyle, everything was given. They were happy until one day. Nancy found out that she is pregnant. It wasn't part of the plan at all, but it happened. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know which one of her sugar daddies is responsible for her pregnancy. She told her mother first, and she told her about her plan of not keeping it. But her mother shouted, don't even try that. Don't you know that God has given us a great opportunity to be rich forever? See, my child, if you keep this child for Chief, it will take care of us forever. But mom, I'm not even sure the child is for Chief, Nancy said. And her mother shut up. Will Chief know that the child is not his? He won't know now. And so they called Chief and told him that Nancy is carrying his child. And instead of celebrating, Chief got so angry. He was so furious and he started shouting over the phone. So you've been cheating on me, Nancy. That child is not mine because I am impotent. You have been upweighing other men, right? Don't ever call me again, Chief said angrily, and leave my house immediately. Nancy and her mother were beyond shocked. Impotent, Nancy screamed. She started crying so much. Mother, what are we going to do like this? I'm so confused. She guessed and said, maybe the child is for Chief DK. Hey, why will I even get pregnant for Chief DK? My God. Nancy said to her mother. This is bad, her mother said. Chief DK is not as rich as Chief. And he's very stingy. He doesn't spend like Chief. Nancy, you fucked up, Nancy was so confused. She called Chief DK and told him he accepted the child and got them an apartment, a small one. They fell from grass to grace. And that was the beginning of Nancy's sadness. Chief DK visited occasionally, and brought so many foodstuffs to her, and fruits too for her to eat as she's pregnant. And she was eating it all. She was adding weight, and she didn't like it. Of course, she knew that she would add weight as a pregnant woman, so she didn't really complain. And the real sadness began when she gave birth. She was so chubby. Even her mother was surprised. But in order not to hurt her feelings, she didn't complain. But Nancy saw it. She was times 10 her normal self, and she didn't like it at all. She missed her old self so much, her slim, thick figure 8 self. She didn't even have time to take care of her baby because she was missing her old self and she didn't like how she looks now. Her mother was doing most of the work. The baby would cry and cry and cry, and Nancy wouldn't look its way. Her mother was taking care of the baby. She couldn't believe her new reality of being that chubby. Slowly but surely, she started accepting her fate. She started spending more time with her child. She would cry and tell her mom, "Mom, is this my reality now? Will I just stay home? Why am I looking like a 50-year-old person? Even you look younger than me. I am too fat. I'm just 21. Why am I looking like a 50-year-old person?" But her mother will comfort her and tell her that this is not the end, my child. Very soon, all of this fat will disappear. They will reduce. I was once like this, her mother said, trying to make her feel better about herself. She lied because she was never like that. And so she listened to her mother and she waited. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The baby fat didn't reduce at all. It didn't go. And it even looked like it was even getting worse. It was permanent. She has done so much to reduce her weight. So many weight loss products. So much time gymming, but it didn't work still. Her tummy remained big. Her sexy clothes didn't fit in anymore, and all of the men that used to be all over her now stare at her from a distance, shouting, "Shakara don't end oh." She didn't know what to do or say. She just cried. It was a lot for her to take in. She would sit at home, crying and thinking, when is this thing going to leave me? She would sit and think of the time when she used to have the perfect figure. It was all gone now. One day, Nancy went out to buy some things for her baby, and coincidentally, she met an old friend of hers who is also there to buy baby things. She saw a ring in her hand. After they exchanged pleasantries, she asked her, "Are you married?" And her friend said, "Yes, and I just gave birth 6 months ago." The lady didn't look it at all. Her tummy was so flat, you wouldn't even know she just gave it. And she didn't add any weight. Nancy was so surprised. The lady gave birth 6 months ago, and she 3 years ago. And yet, she hasn't lost all of her baby fat. She felt so sad, but she pretended like she wasn't. The lady asked her how old is her baby, and she said, "Oh, it's 3. "And your husband, how is he?" the lady asked Nancy, but Nancy couldn't talk. She changed the topic. But the lady was adamant. She asked again, "Why are you not wearing your ring?" But Nancy still changed the topic again. They exchanged numbers and left. That day, when Nancy got home, she was so down. She cried so much. Her life was not how she imagined it. She isn't properly married, and she even has a child out of wedlock. And even the body life she was living, she isn't living it right again. "Okay then, I only have one more option. I'll fix my body. I'm tired of waiting for it to fix itself," she said to herself. She told her mother about her plan of doing a tummy tuck surgery where they will reduce all of her belly fat and all of the fat in her body will be taken out. And of course, her mother indulged her. "Very good, my child," she said. She found a cheap doctor online. It looked like a professional, but in real life, it isn't. She went to his hospital, which looked like a house, and she did the surgery there. Her mother was with her all through. taking care of her while they left her son in a daycare. Her tummy became snatched once again and they went home. She got her spark back, her stature was back to normal, and nobody mocked her again. Instead, they were wowed by her tummy. It is time to get back on my feet. It is time to go back to the streets, she said to herself. And she started going back to clubs and all again. But one day, she started feeling pain by the side of her stomach. She used drugs and it still didn't work. Her stomach kept aching and aching. And one day, she saw a maggot. The second day, they became more. She told her mom she was scared it's a side effect, but her mother told her it isn't. She visited the doctor, but the hospital has been closed down. Nancy didn't know what to do, and then one day, her stomach busted open. Her intestine could be seen, and maggots were in there. Apparently, her stomach has been decaying all the while she was having stomach ache. Her mother was shocked to see her like that. She rushed her to a nearby hospital, but there was nothing they could do as her case was so severe. She has destroyed her stomach. Nancy cried her eyes out. She started begging online, telling people to help her because the doctor told her that the only solution is to fly her out of the country to get a better and proper treatment. People heard her story and pitied her. They didn't blame her, rather they blamed her mother who didn't guide and train her daughter in the right way. She flew out of the country and the surgery was done, and luckily for her, she became well again. She took her child and moved out of her mother's house. She trained her child in the right way, not the way her mother trained her. She blamed her mother for training her the wrong way. Her mother cried and begged her for forgiveness, forgave her mother, but she still kept her distance. The end. So besties, this is the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching. The moral of the story is to train up a child and the way it would grow, and when it grow, it would not depart from it. Train up your child. Don't be shy to train up your child. If not, in the outside, they could train out for you. Let's learn one or two from the story of Nancy and her mother Kelechi, who was desperate for riches and she did it in a very bad way. Yeah. So please tell me in the comment section what you've learned. Please subscribe to this channel and tap on the notification bell so anytime I upload a new story, you get to know and you come support your girl. Thank you so much, besties, and see you guys on my next story. Let me know in the comment section what kind of story you would like to see next, and yes, I may just drop it.